Miracle Boy Boxing, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, the one and only hosting Cruz, bringing you another exciting edition of boxing. Don't forget to hit and to like, subscribe to my channel. It's always greatly appreciated. Stay tuned. Miracle Boy Boxing, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, hosting Cruz, and guys, what a night of fights Sunday night on the Naoya Inuoe fight versus Ramon Cardenas, ladies and gentlemen, on ESPN Plus. And this card was what boxing is all about. Now, the two previous events prior to this event, from the Friday night and the Saturday night, from, under Turki Al-Sheikh, it's called Fatal Fury. On paper, each of those fights were supposed to be tremendous. Great fights, great action fights. And most of them, I'm not going to say all, but most did not live up to the hype. Most did not live up to the hype. Teofimo, a lot of people say Teofimo was in there trying to make the fight as entertaining as possible. Look, he was in there. He was the only fighter on that card that really tried to put on a show for the fans. And maybe not, because there wasn't anything sensational either. And then Rolly Romero outboxing Ryan Garcia in their fight in a performance, in his best career performance, even dropping Ryan. And then Haney putting on a stinker, backpedaling like he's on roller skates all night. And then the following night you had Efe Ajagba versus Martin Bakole. And what I feel, this is where not all the fights that were this is where not all the fights they weren't stinkers comes in. Because Martin Bakole versus Efe Ajagba put on a decent scrap in the heavyweight division. Both guys, hard punching power. They came forward. They land shots. No knockdowns, no stoppage. But they were landing punches on each other. It was a good fight. And what's crazy about that fight is that when I came into that fight, I came in late, and I came in into it was in the 9th round, and it was halfway through the round. And halfway through the round, I got half a round, and it was much more entertaining than what I saw from the entire card in Times Square. And then you go to the main event with Canelo Alvarez versus William Skull. Now I'm gonna do a video separately on that fight, but I don't know who backpedaled on their roller skates more between Haney and Skull. I don't know. They were trying to outdo each other. I don't know who was trying to outdo the other, but it was ridiculous. But that's not about this. This is about ESPN Plus Sunday night. The Monster returning against Cardenas in a tremendous fight of the year contender. Now, before I get into the main event, I'm going to talk about the card in itself, man. Coming in, everyone was hoping that this card saves the weekend that we had. From the Friday night to the Saturday night, 2 disastrous nights of boxing. So coming into this card, everyone was hoping, even the commentating table were hoping, that we get the sport that we love tonight, which is boxing. You hit me, I hit you back harder. Ain't no backpedaling and tappy punches and moving around in circles. No. And we got it. We got it. From undercards to main card, we got it. Every fight on the undercard, from Art Barrera Jr., tremendous prospect, 19-year-old, coming out of the Robert Garcia Boxing Academy. And you got Emiliano Vargas, the son of the legendary Fernando Vargas, tremendous fighter back in his day. Um, Rasim, Rahim Alim. You got Nikito Nakano and Rohan Polanco. And all those fighters that I just mentioned were impressive. Some were in tremendous fights, pretty good scraps. Like I said, the undercard had action. Now, it's all about the main event and the co-main event. The co-main event on ESPN, the main card, is the WBO 126-pound champion, 6'1" Rafael Espinoza out of Mexico, 27-0, 23 knockouts, long, tall, power Mexican fighter, Mexican warrior. Um, can box on the outside, can slug it out on the inside very effectively, and he had a pretty solid scrap against Edward Vasquez, who came into the ring with 17 wins, 2 losses, 4 KOs, and those 2 losses were to 2 top fighters in Raymond Ford and Joe Cordina, and both those fights were to decisions. He lost by split decision to Raymond Ford in a competitive fight, and then he lost to Joe Cordina by majority decision. Rafael Espinoza was the first fighter to stop him, TKO in the 7th. But prior to that, Rafael Espinoza had to kind of earn that stopping because Edward Vasquez was a stubborn fighter, stubborn opponent. He was eating almost everything Espinoza was given to him, gave to him. A lot of heart, fighting back, even landing his own shots on Rafael to the point where in spots we got good exchanges and pretty good action. It really set the tone for the main event, which was even a much better fight. The co-main event was already good, and the main event just took it up another notch. So Rafael and Edward Vasquez had their moments of rumbling and tumbling, vicious exchanges. Edward Vasquez is not known as a power puncher, so even though he was landing his shots, his punching power is not enough to discourage and back off Rafael. Rafael is known to take a good shot. Asked Racing Ramirez about that in their classic first fight. Rafael Finosa is what you call a money's worth fighter. If you pay a ticket and he's on that card, you're guaranteed action. You're guaranteed a good fight. Rafael Espinoza is the type of fighter that he can go in there, fight a broomstick, and still have a good fight. Because he's about that. He's all action. He's about giving the fans what they want to see. Blood, sweat, tears. All action Mexican warrior. No matter how tall he is, man, he's gonna fight on the inside if he has to. He's gonna fight on the outside if he has to. And that's that. And like he said, he wants to fight the best in his division. Like, for example, Shushu Carrington is a tremendous fight with Rafael Espinoza. Yeah, so Rafael Espinoza is going to be a problem, ladies and gentlemen, for a lot of these fighters in that weight class. At 126 pounds. As I look through the rankings here with you guys in a second. At 126 pounds. 1 second. So Rafael Espinoza, like I said, Bruce Shushu Carrington is number 1 in the WBO. Over at True School Sports, Brendan Taylor interviewed Shushu about what he thought about not only about the Naoya Inuoe fight, but he mentioned also that Carrington and Rafael Espinoza is a good fight as well. Should be a fight that should happen. And like I said, Shushu is number 1 ranked WBO contender. So that's a fight that would make sense. You got Angelo Leo, who is one of the best fighters right now at 126 pounds. Obviously, he's the IBF champion of the world at 126 pounds. So that'll be a tremendous unification. Two Mexican fighters, one Mexican and one Mexican American in Angelo Leo. But Angelo Leo will be set to fight Tomoki Kameda coming up. In a not so distant future. Uh, then you got Stephen Folk, tremendous fighter himself. So there's a lot of entertaining fights for Rafael Espinoza that he can fight and defend his title and have unifications with. Even Nick Ball is a good fight. So all in all, it was a tremendous scrap. Excellent excellent co-main. And then things got better with the main event, which I'm gonna get to right now. So the main event, 30-0, 27 big wins by knockout, two-time undisputed champion Naoya Inoue, the best Japanese fighter right now, and in my opinion, the greatest Japanese fighter to ever put on a pair of gloves. Yes, I said that. When you talk about Japanese boxing, you got to talk about Kenshiro Teraji, Junko Nakatani, and Naoya Inoue. Those are the three kings of Japanese boxing currently. But it's not about those three. It's about Naoya Inoue. Last night, Sunday night, ESPN Plus. For the first time, Naoya Inoue returned on American territory for the first time in almost 4 years to take on Ramon Cardenas out of San Antonio, Texas. What a fight, ladies and gentlemen. And like I said, we all hope for this card to deliver and to save the weekend that we had. The torturous and boring, sleepy weekend. And the main event, the prospects and the undercard fights were already promising. Then you got the co-main event that delivered. Very good scrap. And then on top of that, the main event exceeded expectations, lived up to expectations, and fed our hopes. Instead of getting a good fight, we had a great fight. A fight of the year contender, in my opinion, the best fight this year. The best fight this year is better than Ben and Eubank Jr. That was the best fight this year until I saw this one. I didn't know who Ramon Cardenas was prior to this fight. All I saw it was as, okay, this is Inoue's first fight in 4 years in America, at the T-Mobile Arena, and Cardenas seems to me they have him on there as his opponent, so I'm sure he's a good fighter, right? So when that bell rung, that's what I saw. That's what we saw. We saw a tremendous live dog in front of Naoya Inoue. Both guys went in there and just put leather on each other, like literally. Punches and bunches, fishes exchanges. You hit me, I hit you back harder. And like I said, this was my first time seeing Cardenas fight. I've seen Inoue fight many times, so I know what he's capable of. I didn't know what Ramon was capable of until the rounds went on and the fight got competitive. This was a tremendous back and forth fight, and then this happened. Naoya Inoue got dropped in the second round off a counter left hook. The same shot that Luis Neri caught him on the chin. Now, when Naoya Inoue got dropped, my heart dropped for a second. It was a bit of a shocker for me. It was so much of a shocker for me that I think the entire electricity system of Japan went out for a second when Naoya Inoue got dropped. But right after that moment, I said, you know what? Naoya Inoue has been here before. He got dropped Luis Neri. He did not know where he was, but he recuperated himself and came back, rallied back, and came back to stop Luis Neri. So same thing here. He got up. I mean, he got dropped. He was looking around like he was wondering where he was. He recuperated himself. He got up, collected himself, and got himself back into the fight, peppering Ramon with jabs, left hooks, body punches, showing the world why he is the number one fighter in all of Japan today, why he is a two-time undisputed champion, why he is a future legend in the sport, Hall of Famer in the sport, and why he is pound for pound, if not the best in boxing today. And he showed it. He showed the heart. Remember, besides getting dropped from Luis Neri and coming back to win by stoppage, he's shown the heart and able to take a shot. Before Luis Neri fight, if you guys remember the classic fight with him and Nonito Donaire, the first fight, that was Naoya Inoue's toughest fight. Then, until this one, this is his second toughest fight, in my opinion. Donaire is his first toughest fight. No one took Naoya Inoue to the limit like Nonito Donaire has until Ramon went in there with him on Sunday. Ramon was his toughest challenge since that fight, since the first fight with Donaire. And it was a barn burner. You know, the crowd was happy. This is what boxing needed after the two previous nights. We all had hope for this, and it exceeded expectations. You know, now we did not only got a good fight, we got a great fight. A lot of action. Naoya Inoue and Ramon Cardenas turned in a tremendous battle of the year contender. A lot of back and forth, vicious exchanges. And it was to the point that I'm like, man, Jesse James Leija, tremendous fighter out of San Antonio. Jesse Bam Rodriguez out of San Antonio, unified champion, all that good stuff at a very young age, the resume that he has, and my opinion, the best fighter out of San Antonio in Jesse Bam Rodriguez. And I'm like, I have all that in my mind, and I'm saying Ramon Cardenas, if he pulls this off, he's gonna be now tied with Bam Rodriguez as the best fighter in San Antonio, if not better, just by who he was to knock off here. Because if Ramon Cardenas had won this fight, he would have picked up the IBF, the WBO, and the WBC, the unified titles at 122 pounds. So, eventually, Naoya Inoue, showing the heart that he is, showing how great a fighter he is, why he is the number one fighter in all Japan, rallied back to stop Ramon Cardenas. In a great action fight. It is the fight of the year so far, ladies and gentlemen. Naoya Inoue proves again his mettle and still unified champion at 122 pounds by stopping Ramon Cardenas in the 8th round. Like I said, Ramon Cardenas put on a tremendous fight performance, and he will be back, just like the legendary Larry Merchant once said. I've never seen of him, I've never heard of him. Now I've seen of him and heard of him now. and I want to see him again. So Ramon Cardia is a tremendous fighter, man. To go in there against a two-time undisputed champion and a future Hall of Famer, to put in that kind of performance, even in defeat, says a lot about you as a fighter. So Ramon will be back, but Naoya Inoue, man, continues his reign of dominance as champion and Japanese great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Man, this is Naoya Inoue's 11 straight knockouts. 11 straight KOs, man, and all were in title fights. Amazing. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this card, man. It lived up to expectations. We all wanted it to live up. You know, we were really saddened of the two previous nights of boxing. So, you know, this card came in and saved the weekend, and it definitely delivered. Um so yeah. Miracle Boy Boxing, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Ocean Cruz. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. It's always a pleasure to talk to you guys about boxing. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.